Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Wednesday. About half the work week in the mirror. We're brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. LSU Baseball on the hardwood in Nashville right now. Kentucky leads the Tigers 64-62 as they play on in the second half. We'll react to this one when it goes final. LSU season will be over, or they will probably live to play another day. We'll talk about it when it goes final. Saints made more moves after we finished up yesterday. Kaden Elliss headed back to New Orleans. We'll discuss that in 15 minutes. It's What If Wednesday. If you got some of those, want to hit us up with those, you can at 1:30. Mark DeRosa made some interesting comments yesterday. We'll just briefly get into that at the end of the hour. Koki Riley at 2 o'clock talking baseball. And we'll do our SEC Baseball Power Rankings coming up at 2:30. So as you can tell, plenty to do on this Wednesday. Let's crank it up the way we do every day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
So LSU played baseball last night, and they beat Creighton 8-4. And I watched it, and I wrote about it, and I'm going to talk about it. And it's conflicting. It is. Because I can do this segment two different ways. And I'm going to do it two different ways. And I'll let you kind of be the judge as to which one sounds more apt to you. I'll start with the glass is half empty here. This is a championship-level baseball program. They have not played good baseball for 2 weeks. You came out in the first 3 innings where you have been outscored 16-0 in your losses last week, and you were immediately down 4-1 again. So you got off to a bad start. Well, how'd you get off to the bad start? Well, in the second and third innings combined, you walked 4 guys, you hit another one, you threw 2 wild pitches, you made an error, and you had a 2-run error taken off the board by a very, very close review. That's 2 innings of baseball. 4 walks, hit by pitch, 2 wild pitches, an error, and another error that was taken off the board. Then you get your best hitters to the plate with the runner on second and third and 1 out, and Jake Brown strikes out. Seth Dardar follows up, he strikes out. Zach York, in a tight game, sees a double hit down the line in left field and runs right into the first out of the inning. Your first 2 runs of this game were gifts. Stephen Milan's at the plate. He pops up just in front of home plate. Catcher drops it. He flares the ball into right center field to plate the first run. But he never gets that chance if the Creighton catcher just catches a pop-up. And then your second run, with 2 outs, there's a shift on. Jake Brown hits it to the right side, and Creighton can't field a ground ball. So you get gifted that run. And you're talking about a Creighton team that was 5-7. Not a very good team. And all this stuff you did wrong. Very, very unclean way to play baseball. And were it not for a diving catch by Stephen Milam and a diving catch by Derek Curiel, it could have been worse. It would have been worse. So that's the negative side of this. And that was all real. If I want to pour that glass and say, that's half full, I can do that too. You did win the game. That's good. You won the game by 4 runs. That's good. Maverick Rizzi, Devin Sheeran, and Santiago Garcia combined to throw 6 2/3 innings of shutout baseball, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. That's very good. Zach York got a couple of hits. Omar Cerna hit a ball 455 feet for a grand slam. Jake Brown hit another home run. I mentioned on the negative side that you'd have been in worse trouble if Stephen Milam didn't make a diving catch in the second inning and Derek Curiel didn't make a diving catch on the track full speed ahead in a different inning. But guess what? At those 2 premium positions, you've got really good defensive players. And they made really good defensive plays. Your pitching for the course of 9 innings only gave up 1 extra base hit. So you be the judge. Like, which of those is more apt in your view as a listener? I'll tell you that to me, I'm going to lean toward the positive. I'm going to acknowledge the negative. I started with the negative. I think it's ridiculous that LSU commits as many throwing errors as they do on the infield. I think it's ridiculous that the catchers struggle to throw the ball to first base. I think it's ridiculous that they keep throwing pickoff throws into the bullpen. I just think it's ridiculous. I mentioned it yesterday. I got 5 tweets about it after it happened. Reagan Ricken is throwing over time and time and time again in the second inning of a Tuesday game against Creighton. Throw a pitch. What are we doing? You don't need to throw 9 pickoff throws over there. This just in. The first baseman doesn't move awesome. If we throw one that's a little bit errant, it's probably going to be an extra base. And it happens 4 times a week. I think all that's ridiculous. But I saw some good stuff last night. Devin Sheeran's really good. And that's a really important piece to your roster. To have a 6'4", 250-pound, flame-throwing right-hander who's throwing it over the plate, who's snapping off sliders, who's challenging guys at the letters, who's getting strikeouts, who's showing some emotion, who's stemmed the tide of this game. His coming into the game and throwing those 2 1/3 innings and putting the zeros on the board when LSU was trailing helped change this thing, and so did his emotion coming off the mound. I'd rather not have to use my A reliever in the middle innings of a Tuesday game against Creighton, but he looked awesome. And I will tell you this, you can fake a good pitching line. You can fake one. You can throw meatballs. You can have line drives hit straight at people. You can have guys foul off hanging changeups. You can fake a good pitching line. Sometimes those good pitching lines are reflected in what you saw on the mound. What you saw from Santiago Garcia last night, that's the guy they brought here. And that was legit stuff. What Santiago Garcia looked like for most of his outing yesterday would have looked just fine on a major league diamond. Left-handed, smooth release, 94-95, challenge fastballs, good breaking balls, throwing it for strike 3, throwing it for strike 1. It looked really good. This is the guy that became Oregon's essentially highest leverage lefty last year down the stretch. This is the guy they brought in to be a key bullpen piece, and he didn't have a great first outing. He couldn't throw it over the plate, but he started to ease in and get a little bit more comfortable in this new uniform here in a little bit of a bigger stage, and what you saw last night was dude-level stuff. When he got that fastball, I tweeted about it, when he got that strikeout with back-to-back fastballs, 94, 95 at the knees in the zone, you get swings and miss with your fastball, you're doing things right. And he looked awesome. So when you consider the trust level that you got in Sheeran, the trust level that I'm developing with what I saw from Garcia last night, you feel pretty good with Gavin Guidry on the mound. Maverick Rizzi wasn't awesome last night, but he did make some good pitches and has made some good pitches this year. You're starting to find that the front part of this bullpen emerging. I was really comfortable with what Ethan Plog had done in his last 2 outings. Last night, he wasn't as good, an inning and a third. He wasn't as good because he walked 2 guys. He didn't give up any hits, but he walked 2 guys. And that's what you can't do. And some of the misses were big. But the stuff is really good if he could just hone it in. And for LSU to trot out in the middle innings of this game, Plog and Garcia, which was toward the back end, 2 left-handed pitchers who are not freshmen, who are in their 20s, who throw 94, 95 miles an hour and have plus breaking balls, that is something to build on. That is something to put in your back pocket. They're not the A relievers, because that's Sheeran and that's Guidry right now, but they are the A lefties. And as Jay Johnson said yesterday after the game, like, these are the guys I'm going to use a couple times in a week. So for LSU last night, you're facing Creighton, but you got 9 hits. You scored 8 runs in 8 innings. You hit a couple of home runs. It wasn't great. You had some lapses of execution. 4 extra base hits, 6 walks is okay. It wasn't a work of art, but it was a step in the right direction. The way I kind of wrap this thing up, and you kind of heard me start it that way and then finish it one way, is that the first 4 innings were terrible. LSU was terrible for 4 innings in this game. LSU was very good for 5 innings in this game. In the last 5 innings, you outscored them 6-0. Your relievers threw strikes. You hit the ball out of the ballpark, created some offensive pressure. The defense was fairly clean. okay. Like Omar Cerna threw a ball into the back of a runner. Omar Cerna threw a stolen base attempt into center field. He's your backup catcher, and he's got to learn to play defense, and he's not quite there yet. Your other error was, a freshman pitcher throwing a pickoff throw. Again, it's not your third baseman. It's not your shortstop. It's not your center fielder. Wasn't even second base. It's not the positions I expect to see errors from. It's the guys in ancillary positions that are throwing the ball all over the place. And that's frustrating to watch. I get it. I don't want to watch it either. It's no fun to watch those first 4 innings. Walks, errors, strikeouts on your end offensively. It was an ugly beginning to the game, but they found it in the last 5 innings, and that's what you hope. They're just not playing well, but they can. It's in there. I've seen it in the first 2 weeks. I see it in spurts, and now you get your starting rotation back out there against Vanderbilt, and as I told you yesterday, entering this game, if they win 3 of the next 4, we're just not going to worry that much about the last week and a half of non-conference play. If you can win 3 out of 4. Even if you'd have lost to Creighton, if you swept Vanderbilt, you'd wave it off. Now that you've beaten Creighton, you can go win 2 out of 3 in Nashville. All of a sudden, I think the blood pressure will lower around here with the fan base. I get it. I like the passion. I'm glad people are ticked off on a Tuesday. But they did go out there and finish the game with the win. They win 8-4. Saw some good things. I like what I've seen on the mound. And right now, it stands to reason that LSU probably has a pretty good pitching staff. By the way, they're leading the SEC in strikeouts right now. I'll get to it in power rankings. No SEC pitching staff has struck out more guys than LSU. That's a testament to the stuff that they've got, and that's what you're going to lean on with this team. You've got to find some offense, and they'll continue to cycle through some guys. Maybe Eddie Yaman gets some more playing time. He just hitting the ball hard out of nowhere. But they got to win, which is an important thing. Now you move on to conference play with Vanderbilt. LSU practices today. They will they'll travel tomorrow to Nashville, and then they will play on Friday, 6 o'clock Central Time, over there from the Hawk in Nashville. Score update from Nashville in basketball. Kentucky 73, LSU 65. So Kentucky opened up an 8-point lead here in the first round of the SEC tournament, first game of the SEC tournament. It looks like 8.5 minutes to go in that game. Keep you posted on it as we move forward here on this Wednesday. Come back. Saints made a move they had to make. Brought in an old friend. We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing. LifetimeRoofingLA.com. LifetimeRoofingLA.com. Baton Rouge-based roofing company, but they can service the entire state of Louisiana plus Houston and the Texas area. I tell you about Lifetime Roofing all the time, about their great financing options, 0% for 18 months. You can finance a deductible as well. And I tell you about their lifetime workmanship warranty every single day because they're happy and proud to offer that to you, covering the workmanship as well as the materials. But what I haven't told you as much about, because it's fairly new, but they're thrilled about this new department here, is if you're looking for gutters, they can do it at Lifetime Roofing. If you're looking for siding or windows, they can do it at Lifetime Roofing. Give them a call. If you're looking for the whole deal, they're happy to help you out with that as well. New roof, new siding, new windows, new gutters. Lifetime Roofing can do it all with those financing guarantees. Anywhere in the state of Louisiana, you can start your process online at lifetimeroofingla.com. That's lifetimeroofingla.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at lockmeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Multi-platinum Grammy-winning superstar Zach Bryan is coming to Tiger Stadium Saturday, March 28th for the Death Valley Live Stadium Series. And 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge is going to hook you up with free tickets. Register now at 104.5ESPN.com for your chance to win.
Talk some baseball with Koki Riley coming up in 45 minutes. What If Wednesday coming your way in 15 minutes. If you got a what if, hit me up on YouTube or on Twitter at HuntPalmer88, and we'll get to the best ones coming up in 15 minutes, as we mentioned. After we came off the air yesterday, the New Orleans Saints made their latest move in free agency, reuniting with a former Saint. Kaden Elliss comes over from the Atlanta Falcons, rejoining the black and gold. And this is a move, quite frankly, that New Orleans had to make. You look at the situation post-Demario Davis, and yes, you have Pete Werner, who played 17 games for you last year and is a nice player. Not going to make a Pro Bowl anytime soon in my estimation, but he's functional and has been in Brandon Staley's defense and can certainly play his position. But you leave a massive hole in the middle of your defense, not just in terms of leadership, but in production. And you do have other options to plug in there, but they're just that. Their options are certainly not proven commodities. Danny Stutzman is the first name that comes to everybody's mind, right? Because he played 13 games as a rookie last year, played 204 defensive snaps, 186 of those, according to Pro Football Focus, were as an inside-the-box linebacker. His grades were pretty good, 71.1 on defense, 74.5 against the run, 59.5 tackling, 56.6 pass rush, 62.7 in coverage. A fine effort on defense, and I think there's reason to believe that Danny Stutzman has a real future as an impact starter for New Orleans. That's the hope. But you don't know that as of this very second, and you're moving on from a guy who just set a career high in tackles in his 432nd year in the league. So you gotta fill those shoes. And I don't know that Jalen Ford or Isaiah Stallbird are realistic options to plug that need. Ford played 17 games last year, but only 7 defensive snaps. He was a special teams guy. Stallbird has shown some flashes in camp and preseason in some spot duty on the field on defense, but you need a veteran in there to come make some tackles in the middle of your defense. And so you go get Kaden Elliss, and Kaden Elliss gives you two things very, very obviously just looking at the statistics. Kaden Elliss gives you durability, not unlike Demario Davis. He's played in 17 games 3 straight years. He's made over 107 tackles in 3 straight years. This past year, he made 107 tackles. His Pro Football Focus grades aren't going to wow anybody. Talking about 67.8 on defense, 56.9 against the run, a 60.1 in tackling, and then pass rush, 83.6. But he's 30 years old. He plays 17 games a year. He makes 100 tackles a year. This is Demario Davis's replacement here in Kaden Elliss. You want to suggest he's younger. He's got more years into his left in his legs. He is more cost effective. All those things are fine. You want to argue he's a step down. He's not DeMario. You can say that as well. The fact of the matter is that the Saints could not, in good conscience, go to a season, go to a training camp with DeMario Davis's replacement being Danny Stutzman or Isaiah Stallbird and feel like you have adequately given your defense the best chance to be best. If Stutzman comes out in training camp and preseason and plays lights out and takes that step as a second-year player and he becomes a starter, awesome. Like, that's perfect. That's a great scenario. He's a middle-round draft pick on a rookie deal. Absolutely. If for some reason Jalen Ford or Isaiah Stallbird makes some shocking leap, great. Like, I'm not suggesting they can't play, but you needed a realistic option, one that doesn't involve significant optimism or some significant development. And Kaden Elliss offers that. He will come in, he will play in the middle of the defense, he will play next to Pete Werner, and he will be a productive player unless somebody who's younger comes in and beats him out. And let's be clear, I don't anticipate that happening. I think this allows you to move those younger players along, and I don't think it completely disqualifies you from taking Sonny Styles in the first round. If you feel like you've got a potential Pro Bowler, all-pro caliber player that you can get right there at 8, you got 3-4 linebacker spots to play in, depending on what current alignment you're in. Make your team better. Go do it. I think signing ATN probably precludes you from going to get Jeremiah Love at running back. At linebacker, this is just good sense to go get a veteran hole filler to make sure that you don't have to deal with someone who has not played the position. And if you want to draft somebody who's an immense talent behind them, I think that's fantastic. Brandon Staley proved himself last year as a guy who's moving this thing in the right direction on defense. Dennis Allen did a great job with New Orleans on defense for a very long time. That spanned from his time as a defensive coordinator into his time as a head coach. Now, briefly on that front, but into his time as a head coach. And then guys got older, and who knows what was going on in the locker room, and the roster deteriorated, and it fell apart. And when Brandon Staley got to New Orleans, that defense was a shell of what it once was under Dennis Allen, with Cam Jordan in his prime and Marshawn Lattimore on one corner and Paulson Adebo on another corner, and some of the guys that you had in the middle of that defense, DeMario in his prime, obviously. There was a time there where the Saints, no one ever ran for 100 yards on them. But that slowly deteriorated, and you became one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. And the cornerbacks that you had leaned on so heavily in your time and bringing in Tyron, like, those guys had all aged out, and it fell apart. And Brandon Staley put it back together last year. Yes, at the end of the season, against bad teams, I understand. But they are NFL teams. And I thought the way that the Saints played down the stretch, if you look at the last 8 games of the season, you were essentially a top 10 defense in the NFL. But you're going to have to replace some guys that were a part of that. And you had some significant needs after immediately looking up and DeMario Davis is gone and Alontae Taylor is gone. And so for the Saints to go get Kaden Elliss, who brings you 2 very, very valuable things, durability and production, that's a great addition that I don't think significantly alters the rest of the offseason, but not doing something in that spot would have been negligence in my estimation. It was not. I am on board with just about everything the Saints have done this week. I will listen to a case that you paid too much money for Etienne based on his age. I might push back on it, not hard, but maybe. But that's the only real downside I can see from what they've done. And this is a time for optimism. That's what offseason is for. No one's losing games. Everybody's got this diamond in the rough they found, or sign a star that's going to be a Pro Bowler, or this draft pick's going to be the best player on the. I get what time of year we're in, but this is another quality move to shore things up on defense, to make things solid, and that's what you need out of your defense, because I think there's a chance the offense could pop this year. Year 2 under Kellen Moore, year 2 under Tyler Shuck, adding new weapons. I think it could pop. You need to make sure your defense can hold up inside of the bargain. Kaden Elliss is a really nice step in that direction. To me, I think another very, very good move for New Orleans. Jordan, what you think?
I think it's great, man. I ain't gonna say I was hurt when he left for the Falcons. It was more going to the Falcons, but I definitely understand why you go get a guy like this, but also what people forget, what Kaden Elliss brings to the Saints, not only is he's a pass rusher. Well, he's a linebacker, but he pass rushes a lot. When he was on the Saints, he would blitz a lot, and he was a very effective blitzer, something DeMario Davis did a lot too. So it's kind of like a seamless fit. It's not the same system because Dennis Allen was the DC when his time was here. But I think you at this price and this type of guy with this type of production and this at his age, I mean, you can't miss. Like, you cannot miss with this, and it's a seamless fit, especially with him being a captain for the Falcons, and just that. You go to the Falcons and then come back to the Saints. Like that little, that's what I like the most about it.
Pettiness is real. But to your point, that pass rush grade in New Orleans, in Atlanta without Dennis Allen, 83.6 is really, really good getting up the field and getting after the passer, which you absolutely need in the NFL. So, again, kudos to the Saints for making this happen. That's a good addition, and it seems like everything's kind of working to plan for New Orleans right now. Still got some work to do at some spots, still potentially have some work to do at corner, still have some work to do at wide receiver, and maybe another veteran offensive lineman to make sure that you've got the requisite depth to deal with some injuries, and maybe another addition at linebacker. We'll see, but they've continued to address needs. They've done things that we have not seen them do in a very long time, so it's an exciting time to look at the black and gold here. No question about that. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. We'll have Koki Riley coming up in 25 minutes. What was going on with Team USA in the World Baseball Classic, not on the field, on the television, and in the press conference. And then at night, everybody's drunk. Who knows? We'll talk about it at the end of the hour when we come back. It's What If Wednesday. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Some call it overplanning. At Boudreaux's Electrical, they call it foresight. You understand when you live in this part of the world that you're very, very likely to deal with power outages fairly frequently, more than we want, and they're such a nuisance. Whether it's that 2 hours in the afternoon for a summer storm, or it's a week because we had one of those tough hurricanes. Make sure that you don't lose power and that you've got that Generac home standby generator from the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Give them a call at 985-397-1562, 985-397-1562. If you go into Google and you type in Generac generator Baton Rouge, you're going to get some big box stores there. Choose Boudreaux's Electrical, the family-run, locally owned and operated Generac dealer here in South Louisiana. They've been doing it for 40 years. Shop local. Get the customer service that comes with it. They monitor and run maintenance on your generator to make sure it's ready to kick on when you need it most. It's Boudreaux's Electrical Services. They're at 985-397-1562 or the new location in Gonzales, 225-300-9389. That's Boudreaux's Electrical Services.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me. Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Kentucky leads LSU by 7. Just about 2.5 minutes to go in the opener in Nashville. 81-74 right now is the score. It's just not a very good defensive effort from the Tigers, but I don't know why I would expect anything different at this point. In fact, I didn't expect anything different at this point. We'll see if they can't get things moving in the right direction for the last 2.5 minutes. Max McKinnon at the line just knocked one down, so down to 6. If he can make this, which he probably will, it's right now 6. It'll be 5. If he can make this free throw, 5 with 2.5 minutes to go. They're in it. We'll see if they can get it done. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Reminder to text Joey Blanchard. Text the owner of the company. You're looking for a new pool, looking for an outdoor kitchen, looking to build your forever home. Any of those apply to you. Joey Blanchard needs to be the first person you send a text to. Do it at 225-252-7745. That's 225-252-7745. Joey is happy to do that. Look, if you call him right now, text him right now, you can get into that pool for the summer. It's still early March. It is warm out there. It's in the 80s today. But you understand that we can swim in this place until November. If you want to make that happen, contact Joey at 225-252-7745. It's Renaissance Homes and Pools. Your forever home, a new pool, or the outdoor kitchen, or all the above. Renaissance Homes and Pools, they bring you our Wednesday shows each and every week. All right, let's talk a little bit about a lot of things. What if Wednesday?
Time, space, reality. It's more than a linear path. Where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities. Follow me and ponder the question. What if?
All right, Hunt, so we have a what if from Adam.
Okay.
And he says, what if Myers gets a scholarship to play college baseball, but it's to Arkansas?
Fayetteville's a lovely town. They have a wonderful stadium and facility. We'll see if their program's any good in 14 years when he goes and Dave Van Horn's long gone. It'll bum me out big time. And I can't imagine. I can't imagine pulling for Arkansas to beat LSU. That seems impossible to me. I watched Terry Rubisky put on Ohio State colors to watch Ohio State play LSU in the national championship game. Now, I wasn't around when he played at LSU, but his son Brian was on that Ohio State team. Happens all the time. I just can't imagine that. I'm certainly not doing the Woo Pig Suey thing. I don't even think I can put on the red shirt, but I can.
You can be at the games though.
I can go.
Okay. So you're gonna wear neutral colors when you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. What if the Saints draft a defensive end in the first round as opposed to receiver? Where would their priority be after the first round?
If they go defensive end in the first round, I would think they would go wide receiver pretty quickly after that, and then I think they've got to go offensive guard at somewhere in the middle rounds to try to. You try to hope that you try to hope that you hit on somebody to a better extent than Saul DeVary. Some of these guys that they've used that have contributed but haven't necessarily been serviceable NFL players. But that's the kind of guy you're looking for. Not a starter day one, but a guy that when an injury happens, the Saints will not play 17 games with those 5 offensive linemen. They will not. So you got to have somebody ready to go behind them.
Most definitely.
So that's I think they've got to go there at some point. So those would be the 2 significant I mean, corner is obviously a priority as well, but I think they're gonna have to sign a corner. I think. I just don't think you can go what you have right now. Kool-Aid, Quincy Riley, and a rookie.
Yeah, you can bring another young guy in there.
That ain't gonna get it. So they're gonna have to do something at corner.
Yeah, now think about it. I guess your starting corner is a 3-year guy. 3-year guy in Riley's second year. So no, you kind of do need a veteran in that room. Now I think about it. That is a good point. So what if Will Wade does return? Is LSU competitive?
Yeah. He went to McNeese and won the league immediately twice and won a tournament game. He went to NC State, and they're going to make the tournament this year. I didn't see what they did against Pitt this morning. They were the first team out this morning. They played Pitt, and they were losing a little bit early, and they needed to win the game to feel great. I think even if they lose the game, they feel okay about where they are. But depending on how that game
won by
went.
10, 98 to 88.
They're in the tournament. It took like that. I mean, it takes no time whatsoever. I know NC State was really good 2 years ago. They were terrible last year, and he put them in the tournament. He's a good coach. Is he the best coach in college basketball? No. Probably not. Like, he's not. But he steps in. He puts programs in place. He identifies talent. He gets the talent, and then he coaches them, and they win. They win everywhere he goes. Mm-hmm. And you can try to disparage his coaching record if you want to and suggest there's some sort of street ball, and I think that's kind of generally speaking, a lot of football fans that weren't happy with some losses. But if you hadn't noticed, LSU's a pretty difficult place to win in basketball.
Very.
And he did it every single year. Every year he won. So, LSU would probably be in the tournament next year if they held Will Wade. Probably.
So you consider Will Wade more of like a culture guy? He's the guy.
I mean, he's fanatical. He puts in ridiculous practice things, and they chart everything, and they're fanatical about numbers and how many balls they get tipped and how much they win baseline out of bound plays by, and like he puts in systems and they win. Now his teams were different at LSU. Yeah. He had a team with Trenton Watford and Cam Thomas and Javonte Smart that nobody could stop. They just scored like crazy and they couldn't play defense. And then he came back the next year on that team that had Xavier Pinson as a point guard, and they weren't very good on offense at all, but they were great on defense, and they played that switching man-to-man, and it was tough on teams. And like he fielded really good offenses, really good defense. The one year he put it all together, they won the league, but he had kind of teams that did either or the rest of the time. But yeah, they would be competitive immediately if they hired him.
Easily. So what if we still had Hoops with Hunt?
No one would listen. I would do it every morning, and no one would listen. That would be what happened. I got preliminary numbers on that, and it was never like a smashing box office success, but it's just something to keep me interested. I like basketball a ton. I appreciated very much the people that listened back when I did that, and obviously it was an exciting time for LSU basketball where they were making the tournament every year. But yeah, I mean, you at that point you didn't get to hear me say anything ever. If they're good at basketball, I promise you, I've got no problem talking 45 minutes of basketball a day in January if that's what we need to do. But no one's going to listen if I do that right now because they're terrible and they lose every time they go out. So they're the worst team in the SEC over the last 4 years. I don't know I'm not going to do a podcast on that. No one's going to listen.
It's kind of scary, the parallels that I'm covering the Pelicans, and it's just like, yeah, man, been doing it for the last 2 years and they stink, and I'm just like, yeah, this is just my life. This is my life. That's kind of crazy. All right, what if you could only have one fix in your crawfish boil?
So I'm going flavor to eat here, not necessarily what it's going to add to the boil. Okay. I don't eat corn. I find corn to be disgusting.
Wow.
That has nothing to do with the crawfish bowl. I just don't like corn.
Okay.
I love potatoes. I love sausage. But I'm probably going to go in this instance with sausage.
Yes.
It's just the best. Potato is great, especially if I'm looking for something that's a little bit milder than the crawfish I'm eating. I go with the potato with the sauce to kind of cool things down for a second. But if you make me only have one, I got to go with the sausage.
No, the sausage is easily the runaway pick. If you pick corn, you're diabolical in the first place. The potato.
People love corn.
They do. No, I trust. I see people. Hey man, can I get your corn? Like, nah, yeah, you can have it, but I don't need it. I'm not a corn on the cob type of guy. Now, potatoes for sure, but easily sausage because it's just the crawfish and the sausage. It just rolls. It just rolls too much.
I made a mistake. This is not the restaurant's fault. This is my fault. Okay. I'm an idiot. I should have known much better. But there was a crawfish boil soup on the menu at a local restaurant.
Oh, Lord.
And I thought, that sounds awesome. I love crawfish boils. I love soup. Like, I'll take that. I didn't even look at the description. I just, got it. And it was just very, very corn forward. Like, there was so much corn in it, which makes sense. You put corn in crawfish, you put corn in soup, tortilla. And I did not enjoy it because there was just Like I was like eating around corn. I just don't like corn. So that was my fault. Good job in the execution of the soup by the restaurant. I got to know better. I don't like corn. Shouldn't have ordered it.
Was it still kind of tasty though, right?
It was okay.
Okay.
There was so much corn. By the time I got to the end of it, it was just a bunch of corn laying
at
in
the
the
bottom.
bowl. Yeah, that's what we're getting into.
All right, that's it for What If Wednesday.
All right, LSU trailing by 7 with 41 seconds to go. It's become abundantly clear that my eyes are shot. I've struggled mightily with that scoreboard. You could tell me that was 41.1 or 21.1, and I couldn't really argue.
Oh, man, it's time to get some glasses.
What
It's
is
21. It's 21.
It's 21.1?
No, it's 21.1.
Oh, that's such a bummer. I thought it was 41.
Yeah, the fact you were saying 41, I'm like, no, it's time to get some glasses.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Oh, now they kind of came into focus there a little bit. But yeah, the eyes are toast. I don't really notice it when I'm driving. I don't really notice it a little bit. My press box view at Tiger Stadium, I don't see the numbers quite as well. Most of the press do have binoculars up there. I've got the replay, and you get the stats and stuff, so I don't find. And plus, by the time you get to like week 3, I know everybody out there anyway, so I can basically tell by like the body language, who
what they're wearing
is.
and all that. Yeah.
So it's not that big a deal, but you can certainly tell. So LSU season going to come to an end. They're down by 6 with less than 20 seconds to go. So I'm going to talk some basketball in hour number 2. We're 20 minutes away from getting to Koki Riley. He met with Jay Johnson. Jay met with the media at noon earlier today. So we'll get to him a little bit later as well. And remind you about One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Vaughn and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Safety is a big deal in the bathroom, especially as folks age. Look, if you worry about somebody in your life slipping and falling and want to try to mitigate that, you can do that with non-slip floors. You can put some guardrails in potentially slipping places. You can do a tub that's walk-in for comfort and safety. You can do a shower with a bench in it. Those are things that David Vaughn and his team at One Bath and Closets do all the time. And it may not be something you think of when I say bathroom renovation, but it may be something that could be necessary, could be important. So have that consultation with David. Just sit down with him and say, hey, looking to see what we can do here. And he's happy to do that for you. They've got financing options available as well. Take a look at their website for the great work and some of the reviews from their satisfied customers. It's One Bath and Closets. You can find them online at onebathandclosets.com. Just not a great game by Kentucky. I watched a lot of this game earlier today, and the Cats not good on defense. Really, it was close the entire game. LSU's playing without De'Don Thomas, without Jalen Reed, without Robert Miller, who was out for violation of team rules today. Like incredibly shorthanded, and Kentucky still kind of battled. I still just don't believe Mark Pope is the dude for that job. And the worst thing I think he can do at Kentucky is like keep making the round of 32 or like squeak into a Sweet 16. Because at Kentucky, that's like LSU like winning a regional in baseball. Like, yeah, that's a good thing. It's an accomplishment, but you're really here to get into Omaha and win some games. Kentucky needs to be knocking on the door of Final Fours. They spent $20+ million on this roster. I just don't see it. I've watched them play a lot of basketball this year, and today wasn't even really any better. They scored a lot of points, but LSU's one of the worst defensive teams in the Power 5, so it is what it is there. And Robert Miller's their best defender who didn't play today, so it is what it is. We'll talk about basketball in hour number 2 with some big picture stuff as LSU season comes to an end. The Tigers trailing by 7 with about 15 seconds to go in Nashville. Step aside. When we come back, just in huge, like, I'm not huge on the World Baseball Classic. This story you can't bury. We got to talk about it. It's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Check out a tour at Marucci. Speaking of baseball, the official bat of Major League Baseball is made right here in Baton Rouge at Marucci. It was 2 former big leaguers and their athletic trainer started making bats for some of the best players in the game in the backyard shed. And then fast forward 22 years later, and it's the official bat of Major League Baseball. Turn on the World Baseball Classic tonight. You'll see Marucci equipment all over the place. If you want a tour of where they make 1,200 of these bats a day, you want a tour to hear the story of how this became from a bit of a labor of love to the best of the best. Right here in Baton Rouge, you can do it. Go to MarucciSports.com/campus-tour, MarucciSports.com/campus-tour, and get a tour over there at Marucci. Every single ticket for the tour comes with a 20% discount in the Campus Tour store and in the Hitter's House. If you've got a youth baseball team, youth softball team, looking for something to do with them for a little team building, take them on by Marucci. Get those tickets at MarucciSports.com.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Wednesday shows brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools, built by Renaissance.com, built by Renaissance.com. Also got to remind you about Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, swingeasygcbr.com. This weekend is the Players' Championship from Ponte Vedra over there in Florida. Of course, the famous 17th Island Green. I'll be watching this weekend. You may be watching this weekend, but if you'd like to take on the course, you can do it at Swing Easy Golf Club. I've done it. TPC is one of the toughest courses on the PGA Tour year in and year out. You want to test yourself on that Pete Dye course, go to the simulator, crank it up over at Swing Easy Golf Club. I promise you they got all the mulligans you need. All the mulligans you need. If you want to take on that famous Island Green 17th, you can do that as well. Hang out with your friends, watch the golf on TV, watch some basketball on TV, watch some baseball on the TV. They got those right there. Crank up some tunes. They'll deliver you a bucket of beers. It's a great place to hang out or work on your game. You want to play TPC Sawgrass along with the pros this weekend, you can do it at Swing Easy Golf Club. They're online at swingeasygcbr.com, or, as I'd suggest you do, go check them out on Segan at Perkins. On Segan at Perkins at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. All right, World Baseball Classic's going on. I don't know if it's got the attention of a lot of folks or not a ton of folks, but certainly it's ongoing in Houston. And Mark DeRosa was plucked from the MLB Network to be Team USA's manager. And it's not just like a ragtag bunch of Team USA guys. This is Aaron Judge. This is Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and Bobby Witt Jr. and Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal and Alex Bregman. This is a who's who of American professional baseball. And they tasked DeRosa with being the manager of this team.
Ton
Yesterday,
of respect
he
for
went on
Italy.
MLB Network to talk
It's
to
weird.
his
We want to win.
colleagues and made just a ridiculous error. This was from about 26 hours ago, prior to USA's game against Italy, when USA had not advanced to the quarterfinal round. And this is what Mark DeRosa said on live television on the MLB Network entering yesterday's game with Italy.
Ton of respect for Italy. It's weird. We want to win. We want to win this game, even though our tickets punched to the quarterfinals, because Mexico plays Italy actually tomorrow. So the way the schedule lines up, this is an important game for us. Nolan McClain will start. He's on the bump and he's good to go. He's an absolute beast, and I expect him to throw the heck out of him.
So he says it's a weird game because we want to win even though our tickets punched the quarterfinals. That is wrong. They were 3-0, but there is a scenario where they would not move on. It involved losing to Italy. Oh, by the way, they lost to Italy, and they lost to Italy with some guys on the bench. You didn't have Bryce Harper out there. Bobby Witt did not play. Alex Bregman wasn't in the lineup. Now, look, Pete Armstrong hit 2 homers, and Gunnar Henderson had a good game in Bregman's place, and he's a similar player. And, they started Nolan McClain, who's a heck of a pitcher, and Skeens wasn't going to pitch in this game. So it wasn't as if he sat everybody, but you put Paul Goldschmidt at first base. And he also said some guys are a little sluggish, and the implication, this is speculation, but I feel like it's probably pretty well sourced, that the guys, after they beat Mexico in Houston, had a little fun after that game, and were dragging a little bit. And this is ridiculous. The manager of Team USA, it's not like he's designing a football offense here. You fill out the lineup card, you make some pitching changes, and oh, by the way, know the bracket rules. I cannot believe he didn't know the rules of the bracket. That seems impossible to me. So tonight, if Mexico beats Italy and scores 5 runs or less, USA's out. They're done. They're out. And they can't do anything about it. It's unfathomable to me that someone would take this position, coaching these guys on this stage, and doesn't know the rules, and then goes on national television and screws it up. And then he said after the game last night that he misspoke. Now, I don't think he misspoke. I think he misunderstood.
Yeah, how did he misspeak?
And then spoke. And so this is one you just can't really recover from. The team, tonight, Italy may win, or Mexico may win 7-1, and then USA will get through. But it's one you can't live down. You clearly went out there and did not know the rules by which you were playing, and that's unconscionable. It's not like he has another gig. He's an MLB Network studio host.
Okay.
This is so easy. I need your focus for a week and a half. I need a week and a half. And I need you to know the rules on whether or not you're going to the next round based on the result of your game.
Yeah.
That is unfathomable to me that happened. It's not really, to me personally, that big a deal. I would like Team USA to win the World Baseball Classic. If they play Japan in the final, I'll probably watch it, assuming LSU's not playing or something. But, I don't have a big emotional investment in it. Still, I can't excuse this. You can't not know the rules.
Yeah, no, especially then go out and put your face all over it. But how can you say you misspoke? You didn't misspeak about anything you said. Like you said, you just didn't know what you were talking about.
He just misunderstood.
Literally, he didn't say any. He didn't. Not one time did he stutter or anything about that. No, you just clearly did not know the rules. And so, obviously, this guy's not going to do this again. But shouldn't they go get a real manager? Or was this guy manager experience?
Is, does he want to be a manager? He's an Ivy League grad. He's incredibly well-spoken, incredibly smart, had a great major league career, played for the Cubs for some time. He's got credentials that would put him in a manager potential. But this is going to be black eye.
Oh,
I mean, you're representing the organization, USA Baseball, and you just clearly don't know the rules.
Yeah. That's nasty.
Again, I want to reiterate, I don't believe anything he did last night from a lineup perspective, drastically cost Team USA the game. His not starting Bryce Harper allowed him to use Bryce Harper off the bench in a huge spot in the 8th inning where Bryce Harper was the tying run, which was an advantageous situation for Team USA to be in. Pete Armstrong, who's kind of been a reserve, had a big night last night. Hit a 3-run homer for him. Cub, did great. Gunnar Henderson is as good a player as Alex Bregman. Yeah. He's younger and dynamic, and that's not a guy he didn't do any. Nolan McClain's a precocious young pitcher that they put out there. Scoot Bull is done. He said, I'm pitching one game, I'm leaving. Yeah. Skeens just pitched 2 nights ago. So, like, he didn't do anything egregious. He didn't sit everybody or, like, but
totally tried to lose the game or something.
Right, but it wasn't a good look that it sounds like the whole team was hungover from getting drunk after beating Mexico and the manager didn't know the rules. Yeah. It's hard to get people heavily invested in the World Baseball Classic when those two things happen back to back.
Yeah, and you know what? So tell me this, honey. Tell me this. If let's just say America wins it all, do people like forget about this? Do we just all right?
It'll be funny. It'll be an internet clip that lives on. But the players will have accomplished what they set out to do, and DeRosa will go back to his gig and probably have a laugh about it, or maybe take it seriously. I don't know. Maybe his agent says, "Hey, you need to take this really seriously if you want owners to call you about managing a team someday." But maybe he just wants to do TV. I don't know. But that's tough look. We'll see. If Aaron Nola is on the bump tonight for Team Italy. USA needs Mexico to score runs, though. So if you're Team USA over Catholic High / LSU, you need Mexico to put up some runs this evening. That's it for hour number 1 here. We'll come back and talk some baseball with Koki Riley. LSU has been eliminated from the SEC tournament. Basketball talk in 20 minutes. It is a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. FabryChevrolet.com is the website. FabryChevrolet.com is the website. Start your process there. It's kind of where we live these days on the internet. Check out the inventory. All of it's there on FabryChevrolet.com, even the GMC side as well. You can see all of their new vehicles, all of their pre-owned vehicles. It is a massive inventory there on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Once you've kind of looked around what they've got, what you might like, head on up to St. Francisville. See him. I told you all week that my wife and I made the drive up to St. Francisville to spend a weekend there for our 5th anniversary. It is a quick little drive from Baton Rouge. Certainly if you're in Point Capee Parish or the Felicianas, it's a quick drive over as well. And you know what you're going to get from the Fabry family start to finish. An amazing buying experience, wonderful customer service. They've been at it for 35 years, 3 locations, 5 brands. This is the newest right there on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. So start your buying experience online at FabryChevrolet.com. Check out that incredible inventory. Looking for Chevy Silverados or GMC Sierras, you will not find a better deal on trucks. It's FabryChevrolet.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
Coach is tough on us about preparation, and Parrish brings that same championship mindset. Do business with someone you know.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
ParrishBuilt.com. Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Instead of pursuing Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson twice a season, defensive end Trey Hendrickson is now a teammate. Baltimore's agreed to sign the former longtime Bengals defensive end to a 4-year, $112 million contract, $60 million guaranteed. Deal could be worth up to $120 million with incentives. Our Harry Douglas.
You look at his background, a guy that's had a lot of production in the National Football League, rushing the quarterback, but you have a veteran presence, a guy that can be a leader as well. You're getting a player that's remaining in the AFC North, that understands the division as well. You're still getting that premier pass rusher, a guy that can be elite and going to get the quarterback, but also you get to keep your 2 first-round draft picks.
Ravens pivoted to Hendrickson after canceling their trade for Vegas's Max Crosby due to concerns that arose during his physical, and got those 2 first-round draft picks back. Quarterback Daniel Jones and the Colts agreed to a 2-year, $88 million contract, $50 million fully guaranteed at signing. CBA talks between the WNBA and Players Union continue after the sides failed to reach agreement on a new labor deal. Revenue share continues to be a main sticking point.
Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy tastes like straight-up birthday cake. Vanilla, buttery, funfetti flavor in one tiny bottle. It's all cake, no sugar, and perfect when I need a quick, tasty caffeine boost. Get yours today at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show. This is a catastrophe. You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition Hunt Palmer Show, officially working towards the weekend. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools, online at builtbyrenaissance.com, builtbyrenaissance.com. You want to get that new pool, home of your dreams, outdoor kitchen, all of it can be yours with the folks at builtbyrenaissance.com. All right, LSU basketball season is over. We'll talk about it in 15 minutes. LSU baseball season, not over. In fact, SEC starts up on Friday from Nashville. Koki Riley covers the Tigers. Joins us on Wednesdays. Koki, how are you?
Doing pretty well. How's it going?
It's going quite well. Let's talk about kind of the disaster of the last week prior to last night. What was the most jarring aspect of LSU dropping 4 or 5 to you?
It's the continued struggles of the offense and the inability to find clear answers for those struggles. I think that it's really weird not to see them hit the ball hard at all against this week's competition, not for one game, but for, 5, 6, 7, even 8 games. And against this level of competition, I mean, if they did this in SEC play, it would be a little concerning. The fact that it happens during non-conference is even more concerning. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now with this team and with this offense. When it comes to just the question that you asked, I think last night was a step forward, but it was still a pretty ugly performance. So you're looking at this team and, this weekend is very important for them because, if you don't take advantage of another team that's struggling in the conference, then it's going to be really hard to imagine. It's only going to get harder from here. So that's kind of where they're at right now.
When you look at the defense, on the one hand, they're making a ton of errors. On the other hand, the errors are coming on pitcher pickoff throws and from the backup catcher, and I'm struggling with how to reconcile that. How do you feel about the defense, specifically with the errors and what it could mean for them over 30 SEC games?
Yeah, they've had 5 pitcher errors this season. which is a lot. Some of that might be noise because some of their starters are pretty good fielders. Cooper Moore is a good fielder. Casey Evans was a shortstop, so he's a very good fielder. Some of that might be just some noise based on relievers or in the game, and that will even out as the season goes along. Usually they've been pretty decent with the pitcher fielding stuff, so I don't really know why it's happening all of a sudden. There's not really a clear answer for that. It's probably something that we should be asking Jay a little bit more often, honestly. And then for the other stuff, the backup catcher making errors, that's going to happen, especially if it's a freshman. And I thought Omar Cerna had a very freshman-y, high tools, a lot to work on sort of performance, right? Because it's a grand slam, 455 feet, and he also had trouble corralling balls in the dirt, dropping balls behind the plate. He threw a ball in the center field and nearly cost him a run. So it was so there was stuff like that happening at the same time. So it's what happens when your number two catcher isn't steady, isn't Alex Milazzo. He's not a steady veteran who is going to play good defense and maybe put the ball in play. Like, this is a boomer bust sort of player, and they've liked that at the catcher spot since Jay's been here, and that's kind of what they're riding with.
Koki Riley is our guest, covers the LSU baseball team for The Advocate. You mentioned you thought last night was a step forward. Why did you think last night was a step forward?
They put the ball in play a little bit better than they have in the previous games. Again, this is a terribly low bar that they're passing here, but they still did it. 9 hits, 6 walks. Omar Cerna hit a ball 455 feet. Jake Brown homered again. They did a better job of putting consistent traffic on the bases in general. They got lucky with a couple of those runs. Jake Brown's grounder was an error. That drove in one of the runs. I think it was the second run. The first run came in part because the catcher dropped a really easy pop-up earlier on the at-bat, and then Steve Mound took advantage of it with a single. I just think their quality of contact was a little bit better, and they just did a better job of getting on base and creating more traffic. And, if you can do that, you're probably going to score eventually. I just thought they did a much better job of that because that's kind of the key to any offense, and especially this one.
I'm going to ask you a really big picture question here. I don't even know if I had plans to do it, but I'm just in the course of our conversation, I'm just kind of thinking about it. Do you think this is a team that can win 18 or 19 SEC games and get a top 8 national seed?
I think it's still on the table. I think it's less likely than we thought it was going to be heading into the season.
Yeah.
I don't think their schedule is to the point where it really scares you off of that fact. There's some tough ones in there. There's Georgia on the road. There's Mississippi State on the road. They have A&M. That's a home series, though, so it makes it a little bit more palatable. They don't have the toughest SEC schedule. They avoid Arkansas. I know they struggle, but they avoid them. Tennessee, they get them on the road, but Tennessee doesn't look as powerful as it did last year at the plate.
You miss Texas.
And Texas. Well, you also missed Texas. I was going to get to that. Yeah. So that's the big one. You don't play the best team in the league probably. I think it's on the table still, in part because of the schedule, in part just because the what's on paper here, the talent of this roster. If they get to 19 or 20 wins, I think they can still be a top 8 seed, even with these non-conference struggles. They probably can't lose more than one more non-conference game for the rest of the season for that to be the case. But I think it's still on the table, especially if they just get one or two of these other teams that either slightly outperform or win their league and just make the tournament. I don't know if this affects their tournament chances too much. If they don't turn this around, if they do turn this around. So obviously they have to turn around. And the most worrying part of this whole thing, and the reason why you're asking this question is because, if you're going to struggle this much against this quality of competition, what is it going to look like against Mississippi State on a Saturday, on the road against the number 3 team in the country, a team that has looked great so far this season? That's the worry. And that's very different than 2024, where you struggled a whole ton. You went 3-12 in conference play, but it was against a very, very hard schedule. And the schedule gods were not in your favor that year, and you had a young roster anyway. So that made at least a little bit more sense. This makes less sense. And the fact that it makes less sense is what is scary. And they just need guys to start playing to the level that we thought they were capable of heading into the season.
How about the starting pitching staff this weekend against Vanderbilt? How do you feel about those three guys and their opportunity to match up with the Doors?
Yeah, they're pretty well matched up against this Vanderbilt offense because it's the few run producers they have are a little bit more susceptible to big stuff guys who can generate swing and miss, et cetera, et cetera. And LSU has that with Kaden Elliss, even with Cooper Moore and with William Schmidt as well. So they have they're in a pretty good spot matchup-wise when it comes to the starting rotation against Vanderbilt's lineup in particular. And then on the flip side, Vanderbilt's got a ton of injuries on the pitching side. I mean, Austin Nye might not be available for this weekend. And even if he is, he might not be 100%. He's one of their top two starting pitchers. They have other injuries as well to the bullpen. So they're kind of a wounded duck right now. And matchup-wise, they do. LSU is pretty well paired up with them. So I actually kind of like LSU's spot heading into the series, as crazy as that sounds, given their struggles in non-conference play lately. But the point being, if they can turn around this weekend, things are going to look pretty dire heading into an Oklahoma series where, Oklahoma isn't the most talented team in the conference, but they've played good baseball. They've beaten some good teams, and Cam Johnson is a guy that you had and now looks really good. So that's not going to be an easy matchup on that Friday game. So those 4 games, if they go 2-2, then you're kind of holding serve. You kind of feel the way you do right now. If you go 3-1, then you feel pretty darn good and everything's all fixed. But anything less than 2-2, and we could be looking in for a long season.
Possible. Last question, based on last night and, of course, what we've seen from Guidry for most of his time, do you feel a little bit better about the top guys in the bullpen when they go to Nashville?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel a little bit better about their bullpen if Santiago Garcia can pitch the way he did last night. My one concern, though, and actually this is a pretty big concern, is just the lack of consistency they've gotten from some of these guys lately, where it's Devin Sheeran's great one day, he's really struggles the next, and now he's good again for his next outing, right? Ethan Plog struggled last night after looking really good for 2 or 3 straight outings. This team, I'm not saying they have to have Griffin Herring or Kaden Elliss or Zach Cowan, but it'd be nice to have one of those sort of guys in your bullpen who has a 1 ERA halfway through conference play. They might not have that guy this year. Instead, it will be more of matchups and trying to see which hand is hot and which guy's throwing strikes that day. And you're going to have a bunch of guys with an ERA hovering around 3. That's what most teams have, but that's not what LSU's done lately, and that's done lately with their bullpen. So you'd like to have one of those shut down top of the conference arms. You thought you kind of had that in Zach Cowan. Right now, you don't really have that. So I think that's the thing that I kind of want to keep an eye on for the bullpen moving forward.
We shall see. Safe travels up to Nashville. We'll talk next week, Koki.
Awesome. Thanks so much, hon.
Koki Riley with the Advocate covering the LSU baseball squad. He comes to us on Wednesdays. All right, body's cold enough now. Let's do the autopsy on what we just watched for 5 months to LSU basketball. And probably more importantly, what about the next 5 days? We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
It's Colon Cancer Awareness Month. Why is that important? Well, colon cancer is a very, very common form of cancer, but it's preventable and treatable when it's caught early, and screening can detect precancerous polyps before they turn into cancer. So adults beginning at age 45 or anyone with a family history of colon cancer, maybe a little bit earlier, get those scans. Friends at Oxnard want you to be available to do that. Colonoscopy remains the gold standard of screening, but those that are low risk can potentially do some things at home as well. Having an established relationship with your primary care provider makes all the difference, and they can guide you to the right screenings at the right time, including when it's appropriate to schedule that colonoscopy. So make an appointment with Oxnard Health and a primary care provider or a gastrointestinal specialist to start that conversation. Ask about your personal risk. Early detection can save lives. Schedule an appointment, Ochsner.org/schedule or through the My Ochsner app. That's Ochsner.org/schedule.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Another roof gone too soon. Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation. At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today. Case closed.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Bunch of my friends at Gotro's Outdoor Power. Gotro's Outdoor Power coming your way later on this month. Mower Madness, March 23rd through the 28th. On Friday the 27th, in the middle of that window, there will be an open house over at Gotro's Outdoor Power with food and giveaways. Everything is going to be on sale through the entire week. It's going to be the best prices they have all year over at Gotro's. They'll have some giveaways, and we'll give you more information as things get a little bit closer. But mark your calendars. You're looking for a new zero-turn mower, looking for a new hustler, Gotro's is the place you need to be March 23rd through the 28th, especially Friday the 27th at Mower Madness. So I want to remind you about Gotro's. They have those 2 locations in Baton Rouge and in Gonzales as well. Largest hustler inventory in the state of Louisiana. And the customer service you're going to get is second to none over at Gotro's. They got trucks running all day, 8 hours a day. Don't have a trailer? No big deal. They can get your equipment to you. Need parts delivered? They got that as well. Gotro's Outdoor Power. Gotro's Outdoor Power. All right, LSU falls to Kentucky in Nashville. Their season is over. So what does it mean? Well, this was the year we all understood that this program needed to take a step forward. I know that there's a massive faction of y'all that are so over this conversation. I know. But it's important. This is an important thing with LSU athletics. Continuing to be the bottom of the barrel in men's basketball is unacceptable. And you're the bottom of the barrel. You're the 16 seed in the conference tournament, and you're out in the first game. And this year was important. Now, there is depth to this conversation. Whether you like that or not, it doesn't change the fact that there is. And you got to weigh everything. First of all, the product on the floor. You put together a team with a significant financial investment, and that team finished last. I was looking at some of LSU's stats, and these are fluid as a lot of games get played, but you get the picture. LSU this year, in opponent point per game, was 272nd in the country. LSU in free throws allowed was 260th in the country. LSU in three-point defense was 286th in the country. Opponent field goal attempts per game, 312th in the country. Opponent free throw attempts per game, 311th in the country. You were just not guarding anybody for 4 months. And while losing Jalen Reed and De'Don Thomas doesn't help that, it was not the reason why you could not defend. You did not defend because you put a bunch of guys on the floor that were not good defenders. And the team was built on its offense, and the offense buckled a little bit when De'Don Thomas went out. Unquestionably, that's a bad break for Matt McMahon. But you look at the overall record, and now that the dust has settled on this season, you're talking about a program that is 60-70 in his 4 years, and in conference play, 17-55. 17-55, that's 72 games, so you've won 17 of 72. You're winning at a 24% clip in league play. 24%. I do believe Matt McMahon's a good basketball coach. I do not believe for 1 second that Matt McMahon got this job, quote unquote, just because he got Ja Morant. That's just not right. Ja Morant was a huge piece in his maintaining the standard at Murray State, but Ja Morant was only there for 2 years. Matt McMahon coached there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He coached there 7 years. The first year he had Ja Morant, he was a freshman who weighed 150 pounds and averaged 13 points per game. Now, the second year he had him, they went 28-5 and made the NCAA tournament. That was a big deal. But then Ja Morant left, and Matt McMahon went 23-9, and then they had the COVID year, and then he went 31-3 2 years after Ja Morant left. Beat Todd Golden in the tournament. Oh, by the way, before Ja Morant got there, 26-6 without Ja Morant ever setting foot on campus. Like, he did a good job at Murray State, well beyond the Ja Morant situation, which was a good thing for him to pull into his program. Credit to him for going to get the guy. But it's not like he built the whole thing on Ja Morant's back. And then he came here and had an adverse set of circumstances and did not even come close to overcoming the adverse circumstances. And so if you ask me my opinion on LSU basketball moving forward, I think it's in LSU's best interest to change course. Now, I say that with a couple things in mind. I just believe it in this era to be so important to create momentum in your program. And when you lose it, it's really, really, really hard to get it. And what Matt McMahon would need with another year would be to light a spark out of nowhere with a fan base that has turned out the lights. I haven't talked any basketball really for 4 weeks. Trust me, It breaks my heart to do that. But no one cares. Look at the Assembly Center. I see the clicks on LouisianaSports.net. I know what happens around here when basketball loses 5 of its first 8 in league play. In this case, it was worse than that. But I know what happens. And now, in this day and age, you can't just go recruit. You got to go recruit with a sack full of cash. Where's the cash going to come from? You're telling me you're going to shake the booster limbs and get a significant investment for a coach that's winning at a 24% clip? I just don't see that happening. I will say this, and you can roll your eyes, and that is completely fine. This is my opinion, and it will never be validated. But I believe if you gave Matt McMahon $10 million a year in an NIL and rev share for the next 5 years, that LSU would have a competitive basketball program. In the same breath, there is no freaking shot that he would get it. That is my reasoning for going to start something new. I like Matt McMahon a ton. You hear that all the time. I've had a great working relationship with him. He's come on this show. I've interviewed him on my pregame show. He's a great guy, and I think he's a pretty good basketball coach. And I think someone will hire him, and I think he'll probably win a lot of games. This is a hard job. Trent Johnson couldn't do it. Johnny Jones couldn't do it. Matt McMahon hasn't done it. John Brady did it pretty well. Will Wade's the only guy in the last 15 years that has cracked this code. It's hard, and it's different now than it ever was. And on this campus, when you are quite literally playing fourth fiddle at best, maybe fifth, and certainly you're the third biggest draw in your own arena, it is a hard, hard job. And you got to get somebody that's going to succeed in the adverse circumstances early on. This hasn't done it. And it's just very difficult to look at this and to look at a conference record that is consistently at the bottom and it quite literally is the worst in the league over the course of the last 4 years. That's just, it's just difficult to survive. And here's the next point. We're not talking about Matt McMahon anymore from here on out in this segment. I believe, as I said yesterday, we will have our answer within a week. I believe we should have our answer by Monday. Because this is not new. The fact that LSU is the 16 seed in the tournament, that they're out before lunch on Wednesday of the SC tournament and had no realistic chance at all in the month of February and March to make the NCAA tournament, has indicated that this decision has to be made. Not that they have to decide to fire him. They have to decide what they're going to do. There was no basketball-related event that could have happened in February and March that would have changed the circumstances here. So either the money people have decided they're going to spend the money, or LSU has decided as administration and as a booster base and a fan base, they're punting on men's basketball. Those are the two options. And now the decision's upon us. So I believe by the time I hit the air on Monday at 1, we will know if Matt McMahon's coaching the basketball team next year. I don't see a scenario where it's got to take time. They don't have to do it right now. Team's got to take a shower and go back to the hotel. And my guess is they may spend the night in Nashville tonight and then fly back tomorrow. It's spring break. They don't have to be here for class. They're probably going to spend another night in Nashville, if I had to guess. Maybe they've got a charter plane that's ready to go, and they had the plan they're going to lose Kentucky anyway and just fly on back. Either way, either let the guys get back to campus tonight, let the guys get back to campus tomorrow, let everybody settle down for the college basketball will play on this weekend. Selection Sunday happens on Sunday, and perhaps if you want to bury a news story, you can bury it at 5 p.m. on Sunday when they're throwing the brackets out there. You can do that. But I think by Monday, maybe Monday morning, if nothing's happened, LSU's going to keep Matt McMahon. If something has, you'll know. Again, this is not me reporting. This is me speculating. But I just don't see a reason why you would determine to let Matt McMahon know he's being let go next Wednesday. Like, I don't think that takes a week. You either have the money and the interest to do it, or you don't. And that you know right now at 2:30 on Wednesday. LSU's been off the basketball court for an hour. You know. So make the call or don't. But that I believe that's going to be a very, very quick thing that happens. Not rushed so that these guys find out while they're still in Nashville. That's not necessary. Can't go recruiting right now. New coach is not being hired. Walk to the podium on Friday, okay? So there's no rush this afternoon. But this weekend, let's make a call. Send out a release saying he's back. Send out a release saying he's been let go. And let's move on. I think that's all it takes. So that's basketball talk for you. We'll come back with SEC baseball power rankings. Where are the Tigers after losing 4 or 5 last week? We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. Trucks. Want a new truck? Fabry Chevrolet GMC is where you need to go. $13,000 off GMC Sierras. 0.0 APR financing. Looking for a Chevy Silverado? Up to $11,000 off MSRP. Looking for financing there? 1.9%. Those are just incredible deals on trucks over at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. So if you're looking for a new truck, go to the website, FabryChevrolet.com. Check out that inventory. You'll see the great deals. Want to make that purchase? Go to Highway 61 in St. Francisville and make it happen. They also got great SUVs, Chevy Tahoes, GMC Yukons, GMC Denali's. Looking for a Yukon, looking for a Denali, looking for a truck. Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Also want to remind you, they service all makes in the service department as well. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Online at FabryChevrolet.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose. Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Presented by my friends at the Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com. That's HighlandIG.com. Jonathan Carbo and his team are phenomenal folks to work with in the insurance game. I tell you all the time about their property and casualty department, which is great. If you're looking for commercial property and casualty insurance, they got you, the Highland Insurance Group. But they also do group and employee benefits. And if you've had a rough renewal this year, had a rough renewal last year, and are dreading the one to come because you've got a carrier that continues to bring rates up, that's not uncommon. Highland Insurance Group has seen that with some of their new clients because they switched over from that said carrier to the Highland Insurance Group. I know how important that group and employee benefits are. You do as well. If you're a business owner, if you're CFO, and you realize how important it is to acquire new talent and to keep talent because you've got great benefits that people want to have when they come work for you. Let the Highland Insurance Group take care of it for you. They will absolutely do it. Jonathan Carbo and his team are phenomenal on that side of the building as well. So reach out if you got a renewal coming and you're dreading it, want a second set of eyes, want a second carrier potentially. The Highland Insurance Group can help you out with that. They're online at HighlandIG.com. All right, let's do some SEC baseball power rankings.
Hunt's SEC power rankings. The Texas Longhorns.
No reason to move Texas from the top spot. They hadn't lost yet. They're 16-0. The rotation looks phenomenal. They're swinging the bats exceptionally well as well. This looks like a really, really complete team that Jim Schlossnagle has built over there in Austin. Horns are 16-0. They're number one in the power rankings.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
I moved Mississippi State up to this 2 spot. That's where I had LSU. Tigers take a tumble. State's 15-2. Their 2 losses are to really good teams right there at the end of ball games. They lead the SEC in doubles, which I really like. I think their rotation is very, very talented. They're going to hit. They were on the ropes last night against Tulane, but found a way to get it done over there in Biloxi. I like State. Got them at number 2.
The Auburn Tigers.
I moved Auburn up to the number 3 spot from 5th. That's a 2-spot improvement. They're 14-2. Jake Marciano, their ace. 35 strikeouts to 1 walk thus far this year. Only allowed 4 extra base hits in 22 innings pitched. He's not a flamethrower, but he's a good pitcher. Bush Thompson knows how to find those guys. I think their young offense is going to hit. They've won a lot of games. I like Auburn. I've got them at 3rd.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Hogs have not played well. They have not played well. But I'm just looking at that rotation. I'm looking at Gackle. I'm looking at Dietz. I'm looking at Fisher. I know the talent that they've got on that roster year in and year out. I'm just going to bet on Van Horn here. Even though they've lost 5 games to this point, I left him at 4. I didn't move him up or down. I just left him right there at 4.
Texas A&M!
Move the Aggies up 3 spots here. That's a big mover for this week. They're up to number 5. They're 15-1. Grahovic's hitting the ball very, very well. They've had some injury, bad luck with Caden Sorrell, but he's out back now. Shane Sadeo's done a good job on Friday night for them. I don't think Michael Early's a good coach, but he's got a talented roster, and so I've got the Aggies at number 5.
The LSU Tigers.
Moved LSU down from 2 to 6 to this point. Did you realize they lead the SEC in strikeouts by pitchers? I think their weekend rotation is good, and I do think they're going to hit a little bit. The defense is concerning in spots, and the consistent poor play is concerning. But I'm not sending them in free fall just yet. Let me see an SEC week with these 3 starters. See what I think about that. LSU is at 6.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
Cam Johnson, LJ Mercurius, good 1-2 punch at the top of that rotation. Sooners are playing winning baseball. They're 14-2 to this point. I've got them in the same spot they were last week at number 7.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Move the Rebels up 1 spot to 8. I think they've got as good a 1-2 as there may be in the SEC. I love Hunter Elliott, and Townsend's been excellent as well. The home run ball is real for the Rebs. Only Georgia has it more in SEC teams. They strike out a lot. They hit a lot of homers. They're going to be tough to beat at their home ballpark. I like Ole Miss. I got them at number 8.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia finally stumbled a little bit. They've lost 3 games now. They've got a Volsko, the Stanford transfer, in there, the Friday night guy who throws really hard, and they're going to hit home runs in that ballpark no matter what. But the schedule's been so bad. Again, I can't do much with them. So moved them up 2 spots to 9th, but still not over the moon with Georgia.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky has hit 15 homers in 17 games against substandard competition. That's last in the SEC. I do like the talent at the top of the rotation. That's a little bit of a change of pace, but teams that don't slug, I just have an issue with. I tell you that every year at this time. So got Kentucky at 10. That's 2 spots up from 12, but they're at 10.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Tennessee falls a spot. They're not hitting. And that's Josh Elander's baby to an extent. It's concerning. They've got some talent in the rotation. Tegan Coons, Mack on Saturdays is very good, but they're not hitting. So I've got Tennessee down at number 11.
The Florida Gators.
This is the biggest mover of the week. LSU did move 4 spots down. Florida moves back 6 spots. Bad week against High Point. Should have gotten swept. Their 2 starters, which is the backbone of the team, Liam Peterson and Aiden King, were not very good over the weekend against High Point. When that doesn't happen, they're not very good. There are some talented dudes that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, but it's not a vintage Sully team. And when they don't pitch, they don't win. That's why I moved them back to number 12.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Here's LSU's opponent this weekend. They dropped another game this weekend. They're 11-7 on the season. They've got a big-time pitching injury that could hurt them significantly. They do hit a lot of home runs. That's a change for Vanderbilt, but they're not super productive beyond that, and their pitching hasn't been good enough. So Vanderbilt's down at number 13.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Good 1-2 punch here for the Tide, and they're 15-3, which is certainly a lot better than Vanderbilt's 11-7, but they haven't played as tough a schedule. Just not wild about this Bama team composition-wise in terms of the talent. I've watched them play big parts of 3 games, and it's a small sample size, but that's what I got at this point in the calendar. I'll put Alabama down at 14.
The Missouri Tigers.
Missouri moves up a spot. How about you, Mizzou? They swept over the weekend. They're 15-2. How about you? I don't think they're very good at all, and they're probably not going to win 8 league games, but they moved out of the cellar, so good for you, Missouri.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Not good for you, Coach Maneri. They lose over the weekend, this past midweek to the Citadel. They're fielding worse than LSU. They're 15th in the league in batting average. They are not good, and they are now 16th in the league by my estimation, and I think they will probably beat over Missouri at one point, but right now I got to put 15-2 Missouri in front of them. So that's my power rankings at this point. Instead of going through them 116, I'll tell you who LSU plays in the 10 and who they miss. LSU will play Mississippi State as number 2. They will play A&M, who's number 5. But LSU does not play Texas, number 1. Does not play Auburn, number 3. Does not play Arkansas, number 4. And LSU is number 6. So you catch a break at the top there. And then you look down. You do play Oklahoma, who has got 7. Ole Miss at 8. Georgia at 9. Kentucky at 10. Tennessee at 11, Florida at 12, Vandy at 13. So you play 7 through 13. You miss Alabama, who's 14th. You miss Missouri, who's 15th, but you catch the worst team in the league in South Carolina there. So not a brutal schedule. You're missing some of the teams really at the top. Texas and Arkansas not being on the schedule. And for me, not facing Marciano, who's at Auburn, is a big deal as well. So toughest weekend on the schedule is Mississippi State on the road. The other toughest road game LSU plays, road series LSU plays, is the 8th place team in Ole Miss because you play Oklahoma at home and A&M at home. So that's a look at the power rankings. We'll continue to update those weekly as we move forward here on our show. When we come back, we'll close things out and get you an update from the SC basketball tournament. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Renaissance Homes and Pools. I'm struggling, y'all, with another frog in my throat. Just one of those weeks where you're just struggling. So instead of making a phone call, why don't you text Joey Blanchard. He's the owner at Renaissance Homes and Pools. He can help you out, 225-252-7745. Looking to get into the pool of your dreams? He can do it. No matter how big, no matter how small, Joey can help you get into that pool. Looking for a resort-style pool because you got 6 kids? Get after it. Looking for a cocktail pool because it's retirement stage for you? You can do that as well. Want that outdoor kitchen for entertaining? Joey can help you out with that over at Renaissance Homes and Pools as well. And he wanted me to remind y'all, as I do every single week, that if you're looking to get in your forever home and you're looking for a builder and you're looking for bids, Joey's happy to jump in the mix. He's done it for dozens of families around Baton Rouge, and he's happy to help you with it. Again, shoot him a text. Say, hey, I'd like to talk about a pool. I'd like to talk about an outdoor kitchen. I'd like to talk about a new home. Joey's happy to get back to you. 225-252-7745. They're online at builtbyrenaissance.com. Builtbyrenaissance.com.
Everything you need for a stunning garden is at the Plant Barn in Baton Rouge. From trees and shrubs to plants and pottery, the Plant Barn has it all at great prices. Visit us today on Valley Street, right off Perkins Road in South Downs.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
If your office is experiencing performance
performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here, helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
You're checking in and missed LSU's basketball game in the SEC tournament. LSU lost by 5, 87-82 the final. The 16-seed Tigers headed home. Their season is over. See what the next 5 or 6 days hold for LSU basketball, but no more games this edition of the Tigers. They shoot 50% in a losing effort against Kentucky, but giving up 87, hard to win, and they certainly did not on this day. So that puts a bow on basketball for the 2025-2026 season.
Do you feel that even though every day, it got real depressing towards the end, but do you feel like the kids didn't quit on the season, though? Like they didn't quit on the
No, they didn't quit. I mean, McKinnon scored 28 today. Okay. You got guys logging significant minutes. Jalen Reese was supposed to be a backup on this team. He plays 38 minutes today. This is out 7 assists, 1 turnover, playing against a $20 million roster.
$20 million.
They went to triple overtime in the season finale against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, against A&M, who's a tournament team.
So they're trying.
They're trying. They just were bad defensively and never made a ton of massive adjustments. Like, they played ball screens a little bit differently. They played a couple different rotations. Tamba played a little bit more. And, look, Robert Miller's your best defender, and he was unavailable today for a violation of team rules. It just was not a good team. It was not a good team. I still stand by my takes in December and early January where it does mean something that they crushed SMU. It does mean something that they crushed DePaul. It does mean something that they crushed all of those teams that they had let hang around for 4 years when they weren't very good.
Yeah.
They crushed these teams. When they're at Boston College, they went up on the road and won. Not that Boston College was good. In fact, they were bad. But, they did some things decently and with Deidon Thomas, and they didn't have him. I think with Deidon Thomas, they're a 5-12 team, and that's not good enough. They had to get to 8 or 9, and they weren't close. So it is what it is.
It is, but at the same time, you want better for the whole program. So it's like, what is the necessary steps at this point? Because
money.
Exactly. We already know football, baseball.
Money.
women's basketball, they don't fit into the pie.
Just got to make a bigger pie. I mean, it just is what it is, and that's the part that's like that people are so willing. 'Cause I guarantee you, there are people driving around, and I'm not telling you that they're wrong, but I'm just my observation is people are driving around listening to me going, just pay the buyout. It's in installments. And it's like, that's not your money.
Yeah.
And it's not your money to go hire the new coach, and it's not your money to go buy the new players. Like, unless it is your money and you want to say that, but like if you're just Joe fan saying, yeah, just spend the $20 million, who cares? Like, it's a lot of money. I'm fascinated by how willing people are to spend other people's money.
Yeah.
I want that building back rocking. I want to be as good as Bama is. I want to be as good as Bruce Pearl had Auburn. I want to be as good as Tennessee. I want to be as good as Florida. These are football-first schools that aren't Kentucky that have put together a great basketball program, and LSU's isn't. And so I'd like to do that. I don't have the cash. I can't make it happen.
Yeah, man, and that's money rules the world. That's the only way. Well, we could say that. Then again, you could be a Kentucky, $20 million, and look how they look.
They're in the tournament at least.
That's true. Take it or leave it. Let's get it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, yesterday was on fire.
It was.
Obviously, we're going to talk about the Max Crosby thing. It's only right. So in a shocking development, the Las Vegas Raiders announced that the Baltimore Ravens have backed out of their agreement to trade for Max Crosby. They'll have no other further comment at the time. Crosby went into the Ravens facility yesterday to, do his physical and whatnot, and the organization decided that his physical was not good enough and that they wanted to get out of the trade. So do you believe that this is solely because of the physical? There's a little funny business going on. Take it or leave it.
It's funny business. I'll take that. They got Trey Hendrickson on the hook, and they didn't have to give up draft picks for it. Now, you want to determine whether or not that's ethical or whether that's against the rules or not or in the spirit of the game. It's up for discussion. I don't know how often physicals are thought of as failing, but when you got a guy coming off a knee injury, then you know what's coming at that point, and the doctors had vouched for him. But I think they still continue to look at Trey Henderson, and look, the general manager is going to look at it and say, my job's not to make sure that the Raiders are in good standing. My job is to put the best team on the field I can, and to do that, I can get Trey Henderson and keep the 2 first-round draft picks. That's what I'm going to do. Whether that's ethical or not, I'll have the discussion.
Yeah, and it's funny because I saw a comment. Dude was like, if somebody did that in your fantasy football league, they're getting kicked out the league immediately. Yeah. So I get it. Your job is not to make sure the Raiders or whatever they got going on. But does this not ruin your credibility around the league? Now other teams don't want to do business with the Raiders, knowing that they're moving like this.
With the Ravens, yeah. I mean, I think it's reasonable. I think we'll see.
I guess not, because they just got Trey Hendrickson. So Trey Hendrickson, let's talk about this. Going from a divisional opponent with the Bengals, signing a 4-year, $112 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens. Take it or leave it that the Bengals messed up by letting Henderson walk out the door.
I'll take it. They spent too much money at wide receiver, and now their division's got T.J. Watt, Trey Hendrickson, and Myles Garrett in it, which is not what you're looking for if you're trying to win games in Cincinnati and your quarterback gets hurt every year. So that's not great.
All right, so NBA history was made last night. Bam Adebayo dropped, I can't believe this, 83 points, surpassing Kobe Bryant's previous 81 points as the single most points scored in the NBA game. He shot 20 for 43 from the field, 7 of 22 from 3, and 36 of 43 from the free throw line. Yes, the most in NBA history. So a lot of people are trying to discredit this, saying that, he shot too many free throws. So take it or leave it. Too many free throws to pass up Kobe Bryant.
Take it. I did not see the game. I've not seen anyone break it down. I'm in the woods on this one a little bit, other than I knew it happened last night. I was watching the World Baseball Classic, and I'm watching baseball and writing stories, and I'm getting my show together today. So I just didn't spend a lot of time on this.
It's the Wizards versus the Heat. You're not missing that.
They compromised the integrity of the game, right, by just fouling early in shot clocks to make sure
that are intentionally fouling at the end of the game.
So that the game. So that's
they were up 20, by the way.
That's 20. Just not. I have no use for that.
So Eric Spoelstra, guess what? This is what he said. This is what he said. So he was like, once he got to 60, he was like, there was no way I was taking him out the game. Like, we were going to try and push for history. So once he passed up Kobe, he was like, all right, then we're going to stop fouling. But the coach, Eric Spoelstra, he fully endorsed it. Like, we're going to foul. We're going to try to get him this record.
That's ridiculous.
You're not feeling
That's not in the spirit of the game.
Yeah, not at all.
I mean,
they're killing the Wizards.
I can set the receptions record if I just run a jet sweep on every play and toss it to him. I can have a guy get 70 catches a game if I need to. I mean, it's just not realistic. And Bam Adebayo, who can't shoot, is not
83
it's just
points.
ridiculous.
Guess what, Hunt? He is the.
Do we feel like we accomplished anything? We fouled to stop the clock so that he could shoot more and score. Like, what do we accomplish here? We didn't accomplish anything. There's no sort of incredible feat that a guy went to the free throw line and shot, 80% from the stripe?
36 of 43.
I mean, it'd be one thing if he made 60 free throws, and they'd be like, oh, my God, he went 60 for 60. There was nothing accomplished of note here. They just compromised the flow of the game so a guy could – it was like a video game. This is what you do in video games.
No, it definitely was some video game type of activity. But tell me this. Will this be remembered, though?
Yeah, it'll be remembered as a joke.
Okay.
It'll be remembered as a joke.
Remembered as a joke.
Kobe was hitting jumpers, hitting threes, going nuts. This is a joke.
Against the Wizards. And they were up by 20 points in the fourth quarter. But that's it for Take It or Leave It.
All right, that's it for Take It or Leave It here on this Wednesday. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Reminder, Joey Blanchard and the crew over there at Renaissance, online at builtbyrenaissance.com. Builtbyrenaissance.com. Opened the show talking LSU and Creighton. Tigers win it 8-4 last night. My thoughts on it, both positively and negatively. We talked a little Saints as they signed Kaden Elliss. You can find that at Hunt on Saints. A little LSU baseball with Koki Riley. Some LSU basketball as their season is over as well. So if you missed any of it, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Just search Hunt Palmer Show. Like, subscribe, rate, and review. We always appreciate that very, very much. Got a big show tomorrow with Joe Healy and Chris Blair talking some baseball. Matt's going to drive you home next one after further review. We're back tomorrow. The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. Cranked things up in 1910. 1910. That was a minute ago. 116 years if we're counting. And they're still rocking and rolling. They've grown to 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. So if you think about just being a local bank, it's true because they are local. They're right here in Southeast Louisiana. That's where all their locations are. But that does not mean they don't have the resources to handle your commercial loan, your personal loan. 25 locations will do that. So if you're looking for a bank with a community feel and the resources that you need, First American Bank and Trust needs to be where you stop in. You can do that in St. Tammany and Tangipahoa, over in Lafourche, Terrebonne, Hammond, East Baton Rouge. First American Bank and Trust. They can make it work for you. All decisions are made locally in Southeast Louisiana. All decisions. So if you're looking for a commercial loan, you're looking for a personal loan, First American Bank and Trust needs to be where you go. 25 locations in South Louisiana. It's First American Bank and Trust.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last, because in Louisiana,